This video is going to be basically fundamentals of how to move around and what to look at when you're looking in Excel, because it's a tool that we use all the time, as well as probably the most used keyboard shortcuts that you will ever use. So first thing about using Excel is well, even before we get to using Excel, the first keyboard shortcut that you're going to want to use, that you use more than any other, is the Alt-Tab keyboard shortcut. What the Alt-Tab keyboard shortcut does is it lets you cycle between the things that you already have open. So as you can see here, I have 4 things open. I have a Google Chrome Districts thing open. I have a sales briefing in Excel. I have a Zone folder open, and I have Microsoft Excel. If I hit Alt, hold it down, and then I hit Tab, you'll notice that there's a couple of other things that I have open. If I hit Tab, I'm still holding down Alt all this time, by the way. If I hit Tab, it'll then take me one at a time through anything. If I hit it faster, it'll go faster. If I, while holding down Alt, then hold down Shift, and then hit Tab, it'll move me to the left. So Alt-Tab moves me to the right, Alt-Shift-Tab moves me to the left. So if I want to go over and start off in Excel, if I want to go over to my self-pay zone page, I can flip back and forth between those really easily. So that's the first thing that I want to be able to know how to do, is cycle between 2 different things, and that is the Alt-Tab function. The second thing that I want to kind of know how to use in Excel is my Control and Alt buttons right there. What the Alt button does for you in Excel, if I hit down the Alt button, you'll notice that nothing really happens, except there's a little flash up in the left corner where you see File come up, right? So if I were to hit Alt and then hit down, I'm now under the File menu. If I hit Escape, I can come out of it. Hitting Alt and any of the letters that are underlined on this menu will immediately take me there. So that's the purpose of the Alt key. It is the alternative keyboard, and what that means is it's a virtual keyboard. This is what the virtual keys that you can see up there. This Alt-F will push me into the File menu. So let me show you what that looks like. If I hit, and I want to go to the Format menu, I would hit Alt, hold it down, and then hit O. Now I'm all of a sudden up in the Format thing. If I were then to hit H, you'll notice that it'll take me down to Sheet. Watch. H. And then if I were to hit H again, it would hide something. So it would hide this whole sheet. Now you'll notice that there's no longer a Sheet 1 over here. There's only a Sheet 2 and 3, Sheet 3, because I just hit it. So this brings us to our first, that's the alternative keyboard. Then the next most important keyboard shortcut that you're going to know how to do is to undo something. So the undo key is pretty easy. It's Control and then Z. If I hit Control Z, all of a sudden it should undo whatever I did last, but I hit something, so it's not going to really be able to do that. So say, for example, I typed in a bunch of stuff and I wanted to undo that. I could hit Control Z and it would untype that stuff. That's a great little use of keyboard shortcut, because I'm going to make mistakes all the time whenever I'm using Excel, and that's the fastest way to undo them. So if I hit something in here and I want to undo it, Control Z. Now the next most used the next most used keyboard shortcut that I'm going to want to use is to copy something. So say, for example, I wanted to set up somebody's name, call it my own, Brendan. Can't even spell my own name. And I wanted to copy that. I would go to the cell by hitting arrowing around. Here's how, and this is probably the best time now to tell you how the main field in Excel is laid out. In Excel is basically, all it is a series of sheets, which you can see here, and a grid of columns and rows. The columns are delineated by A through whatever. It can get all the way up to double, triple letters, and then down in terms of numbers over here. So at any point in time, I know that I'm over in D11. When I'm in a given cell, the column and row numbers will be highlighted in blue. If I'm working with an individual row, it'll highlight all the things in blue at the top and highlight in black a row if I'm on, or if I'm in a column, the same thing. All these things are now highlighted, this is in black. And the field that I'm working in is highlighted in blue. So right here, I've just typed my name. If I want to copy that, the keyboard shortcut for that is Control C. Now, when I've got my thing highlighted, it'll have this little dancing line that's moving clockwise around the thing. That's telling me that this has been copied, and I can now paste this someplace else. So if I want to paste it over here, I could hit Control V. So here we now see it's been pasted. I can hit Control V again. Now if I wanted to paste it to several places while holding down Shift, I could paste it to 5 places at once, wow, look at that, great. If I wanted to put it into more than one place at once, I could go like this, and now my name is everywhere. So with three quick keyboard shortcuts, I was able to fill up this much space. Control C, which copied the area that I'm in here. Control V, which is putting stuff down, and then Shift and the arrow key, opening up different fields to put that stuff in there. If I didn't like what I did, I made a big mess of Excel, I'm going to undo that. How do I undo that? Control Z. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, and Control Z. Now I'm back to the beginning of where it is. So if I'm in Excel and I want to set up kind of any number of things, I want to be able to navigate around pretty quickly in it. So I'm going to set up a quick sheet right here just to show you how to move around. So the first thing is how to highlight. So I've showed you the main 3 keyboard shortcuts, which are Alt-Tab, getting back and forth, Alt-Shift-Tab, which moves me left through my highlighted screen things, typing in something, which is like my name, spelled it wrong again, Control-C, which is copying it, Control-V, which is pasting it, and Control-Z, which is undoing it. So there we go. Those are my main 4 keyboard shortcuts. And the next thing that we're going to talk about after you've known those things is how to use and navigate around in larger data set areas.